Good morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. This is interesting, and you have not heard this one before, I don't believe. We have been talking a lot about the seven seals of Revelation, more specifically the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and what they are bringing upon us. And of course, the question as to whether we are experiencing them. Have the seals been broken? Are we inside those right now? I want to take a look at, though. I made a comment on the community channel. If you were on YouTube prior to this video, let's get rid of that. I made this comment about the virus names. The virus names are based on the Greek alphabet, and we're going to take a look at that in a second. It says, note that they skipped nu. So it was the current variant was called nu, nu, after mu, mu, and they skipped that. I'm not sure why they skipped that, other than maybe they confuse it with new, N-E-W. But they also skipped the next one, which is X-I or Z or Z. So that's interesting. Of course, they didn't want to implicate the president of China, Xi. So I said, be educated, be wise, be paying attention to this stuff. And one of those things is being aware of the naming convention here. So this is the Greek alphabet, and this is how they're naming, I guess, the who. This is how they're coming up with the names. They're going through the Greek alphabet, similar to hurricane season, where they go through the phonetic alphabet, and they name the hurricanes. Well, this uses the Greek alphabet, and of course the Greek alphabet starts with alpha, and then it goes to beta, gamma, on down the line. And so you can see here is mu. This is one of the ones we talked about a while back. And of course, the current worldwide delta, the current worldwide variant is delta, and this is the one that has kind of taken over the world right now and is the strongest. All the other ones down the line haven't, apparently weren't evolved enough to beat out delta. So as we go down the list, then we were at nu or nu. So that's interesting, but they didn't like that name. And of course, looking at, so N is the English word net, apparently. Z, or XI rather. This is another one they skipped. Let's see. This is N as in net. Disregard that. I don't know why I said that. But Z, this is interesting. They didn't want to name it after, Xi of China, the leader of the Communist Party. So they went all the way to Omicron, which is interesting. And someone else did mention this, but I was looking to do a video of this prior to that mention. But I'll bring that up in a second here. So Keegan brought out the fact that he says, bro, we know that Satan likes to mimic God. So the first variant was called Alpha, and now they're calling the next one Omicron. And he speaks about the beginning and the end. I am the Alpha and the Omega. And that's exactly what I want to bring out this morning. Now, I was going to do this video before you mentioned that, but thanks, Keegan. You were thinking exactly what I was thinking. And so Isaiah chapter 41 says, fear not, there is nothing to fear, for I am with you. Do not look around you in terror and be dismayed, to the Omicron variant, etc. For I am your God. I will strengthen you and harden you to difficulties. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will hold you up and retain you with my victorious right hand of righteousness and justice. There's nothing to fear as it relates to the new virus. What is interesting, too, though, as it relates to the Greek alphabet, which they are using to name these things, it starts and ends with Alpha and Omega. And where is that written of in the Bible? Well, Revelation 22 is one location. This is Revelation 22, BibleHub.com. And behold, I am coming quickly, speaking of the last days and the return of the Lord, and I'm smiling because, it shivers up my spine, as we are in those last days. And he adds with that comment about coming quickly, and my reward is with me. Who is the reward? Well, it's the saved. It's the saints, you and I, who are coming with him when he returns. And we will stand by as he battles and destroys the enemy. But we are his reward. There's a good a video by, I can't think of the name. Anyways, there was a good video about us being the reward of Jesus Christ, the saints coming with him. So my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Verse 13, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Now, I'm sure it's absolute coincidence here, but even in these last days when we're scared of maybe the four horsemen of the apocalypse and the disease and pestilence coming, God reminds us here that Jesus is coming. He is coming quickly, and he is the beginning of the virus and the end. He's controlling it all. He saw this from the beginning, from before the beginning of the world, from before the foundations of the world. He knew this would be here. He is the beginning and the end of COVID, and he is the beginning and the end of the world, the Alpha and Omega from the Greek. And so we're kind of halfway through in the Greek alphabet on Omicron here. And God knows that, and he's the beginning and the end of COVID, and he will be. He is a great physician, and he will cure all disease. And when we're in the 1,000-year reign of Christ, a millennial period, everything will be awesome. In the words of the Lego movie, everything's going to be awesome, and people have no excuse for not believing and worshiping God during that time. So the Alpha and the Omega, I thought that was fascinating, and it's coupled with, again, the coming of the Lord. It's coupled with the second coming of the Lord, the Alpha. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. God has everything in the control. So back to Isaiah 41, verse 10. Fear not. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't be afraid of anything that's coming upon you, for I am with you. Do not look around in terror. What are people doing? They're looking around in terror as it relates to this new variant. Will it be the one? Will it be bring in the zombie apocalypse? Whatever people are is going to come. Do not look around in terror and be dismayed, for I am your God, the great physician. I will strengthen and harden you to difficulties. He will provide for us. He will strengthen us. He may not cure us, but he will strengthen us, give us the strength to deal with difficulties in this life. Yes, I will help you. God will help us all. I will hold you up and retain you with my right hand of righteous and justice. So there you go. And he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And so concludes the video, the beginning and the end of the Greek alphabet and this whole COVID pandemic that is happening in what I believe are the last days. So, thank you, Keegan, for reminding and commenting on that. He says, Omicron, let's see, 15th letter of the Greek alphabet. In the system of Greek numerals, it has a value of 70. And that's an interesting number, isn't it? This letter is derived from the Phoenician letter An. Classical Greek Omicron represented the sound in contrast to Omega, which is interesting. I didn't know that. So Omicron is in contrast to Omega, maybe at odds with God or against God. In modern Greek, Omicron represents a mid-back rounded value, the same sound as Omega. So there you go. Satan thinks he's the beginning and the end, doesn't he? Satan wants to be the beginning and the end. He wants to be all-powerful. He wants to be in control. But the Lord confirms in Revelation 22 that he is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. No matter what comes, COVID, world wars, famine, economic collapse, which I think is all on the doorstep, he is controlling it all. He is well aware that everything is happening. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows exactly what's going to happen in your life, and he has the power and the strength to guide you through it. So incredible things in the last days. So be aware. Be knowledgeable of these things. Look into these things. Google these things. Look up the information for yourself. Don't just trust the mainstream media. In fact, don't watch mainstream media. Search this out yourself, just like the Bereans and the Scripture. Search out the Scripture. Search out true news, true information yourself, and compare it and contrast it to other differing viewpoints. And somewhere in the middle is the truth. In terms of human understanding, the truth is usually in the middle of the in the middle of the spectrum of viewpoints on any particular subject. Thanks for watching, guys. I think that's pretty neat. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward, you and I, the saints saved through Jesus Christ, is with me, is with Jesus, to give every man according as his work shall be.